It is exactly 10 p.m. in the studios of UBC TV. Hello there and welcome to our second and final edition of News Tonight this Monday, the 26th day of June 2023. And these are our top stories. In our top stories tonight, President Yoweri Museveni advises the judiciary to cater for society interests. Woman killed under unclear circumstances in Buunga Sub-County Masaka District. Government to hand over 11 bodies that were burnt at Lubiriha ADF attack tomorrow, June 27th. And in sports, National Council of Sports sets out on the next phase of district sports outreach. Hello there and welcome once again. We're coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. My name is Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. Now, President Yoweri Museveni has advised the judiciary and its relevant stakeholders in administration of justice to bear in mind the interests of society while putting in place new mechanisms in the dispensation of justice. Vice President Jessica Alupo communicated this on his behalf during the opening of the first high-level National Alternative Dispute Resolution Summit 2023 held here in Kampala. We have this story.
The Judiciary, Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, and Pepperdine University has launched a National Alternative Dispute Resolution Summit for the year 2023 that aims at resolving cases amicably without involving court procedures. The summit converged stakeholders in the administration of justice through dispute resolution, judges, lawyers, bankers, civil society organizations, insurers, and litigants. The Vice President, Her Excellency Jessica Alupo, represented President Yoweri Museveni at the summit.
It is my honor to officially open the high-level National Alternative Dispute Resolution Summit.
President Museveni advised various stakeholders in the administration of justice to absorb the traditional way of managing disputes, since it mainly focuses on the truth.
Modern system of justice has many lessons to learn and replicate from the African concept of justice. These systems related to the people daily and appreciated their need for fairness. Once the principles in the African jurisprudence was the preference for the truth, this is a departure from the current legal system, where a person hires a lawyer to cover his or her mistakes, to minimize the mistake and maximize innocence.
He welcomed the alternative dispute resolutions by the stakeholders, among others mediation and arbitration, which he says brings contentment among responsible parties.
I wish to emphasize that the legal system must be part and parcel of the organic body of the society. You cannot have the law suspended in space and not rooted in society from which it is coming. Traditional resolution conflict techniques such as mediation, adjudication, reconciliation, and negotiation, which Africans employed in the past, offered great prospects for peaceful coexistence and harmonious relationships in post-conflict periods.
The keynote speaker, President Jim Gash of Pepperdine University, cited that for Uganda to become the leading alternative dispute resolution in the continent, various aspects of, among others, developing an ADR policy should be adopted.
It is also crucial for this country to develop a national ADR policy that will give important direction both on matters concerning ADR in general and on the appointment and accreditation of ADR practitioners in particular. Uganda needs to be fully equipped, needs to have a fully equipped arbitration bar in order to be competitive with other potential arbitral seats. It also includes continuing to upgrade the information superhighway, the internet, that we were just reminded that sometimes it's not always as reliable as it could be. Those who come to Uganda to resolve complicated, high-value disputes will be looking for efficiency in both transportation and in communication.
The resolutions are not in any way replacing the courts of law. However, it's giving a chance to people to participate in the administration of justice.
We are therefore gathered here not to tell our courts that we want to bring a substitute system. We are simply asking the courts that, in line with our constitution, allow the people to participate in the resolution of disputes.
The Chief Justice Alfonso Winnie-Dolo, who appeared via Zoom, said that such alternative dispute resolutions have been infused into the judiciary system, and with the summit it will highly be enhanced.
Prerequisite stage in an integral part of court proceedings. Indeed, in many instances, cases are successfully and conclusively settled at this stage. The ingenuity of courts embracing ADR mechanisms have resulted in more satisfactory dispensation of justice. Its use is an essential case backlog management tool.
The two-day first high-level National Dispute Resolution Summit 2023 was on the theme Transforming Uganda into an ADR Destination. Rebecca Nantongo, Susan Nabugude, UBC News.
The Vice President, Jessica Lupo, has urged men and women to work together in promoting family values for the betterment of society. She was chief guest at the fundraising drive of Kitojo Primary School in Rwampara District. She thanked the area woman member of Parliament, Molea Msime, for the invite. The Vice President thanked the leaders for implementing the Parish development model and urged them to utilize President Museveni's offer on the 2-year PDM repayment plan. Alupo contributed 20 million shillings to the school fundraising drive and also pledged 15 million Ugandan shillings to the different women groups. She later auctioned a heifer with a starting price of 10 million Ugandan shillings. Over 70 million shillings was raised.
Region. But also to recognize the roles of women remain and also the roles of men remain. And there should be no conflict. I would like to thank the people of Rwampara because I have heard from the LOC1 chairman, from the mayor, from the LOC5, from the RDC that Rwampara is very peaceful and the whole of Ankole is very peaceful. So I want to thank you for maintaining that peace. And I would like to assure you that government will continue extending peace to all the people of Uganda. So peace is very important because it's a bedrock for any development process to take place. On this International Women's Day, there are issues which are specific, which I would like you to allow me to highlight before I do the launch of the fundraising. One of them is that it is our responsibility, all of us, to eliminate gender-based violence or stop domestic violence. Because it has been researched and found out that domestic violence has produced street children. Most of the street children come because of domestic violence. and then the families are disrupted because of domestic violence. When you go to Sebei, in Kapchorwa, Kwen, and Bukwa, and also Nakapiripirit, there is a cultural practice called FGM. On the International Women's Day like this, it is an opportunity for us to know that such harmful practices, cultural practices, should be dealt away with. And again, in my village, in Soroti Katakwi there was a culture that women or girl children, they don't eat the liver, they don't eat the kidney when the cow is slaughtered, or they don't even eat chicken. It was a cultural practice. Because science has proven that if a girl child eats liver, if a girl child also eats chicken, there is no harm. It used to be like that, but now it's not like that. And while celebrating International Day, I also want us to draw our attention to another practice, that girl children should be home and then the boy children should be at school. I don't know whether it's here also. And there's another practice in our village there which used to happen. Young girls would be married when they are still early so that the family can get cows. So when you are celebrating International Women's Day, for instance, in Teso now they have told everybody that you leave the girl child also to finish all the education cycle, and then the people can come and have a wedding or a marriage, but when the child has finished education cycle. So that's why when we celebrate International Women's Day, our main message is that it is women working with men and not women undermining men, but women working simultaneously with men for the development of the country. So I've started with 10 million.
We thank you, Excellency.
Now, the Prime Minister, Robina Nabanja, has urged Kakumiro residents to value land by using it for productive activities and consolidate the achievements of the NRM government. The Premier was the chief guest at the installation of the 9th Venerable Reverend Pade Eleza Irumba at All Saints Kakumiro Church of Uganda Archdeaconry. We have more in this story.
Nabanja, who contributed over 20 million cash towards the installation of Reverend Paddy Irumba, also challenged Christians to appreciate the achievements of NRM government and urged them to be security conscious.
Mumanyire bibayire kasese abebembeza abali hamu ebibayire kasese mbiwulire ijo masaka bakatema abantu tukusaba mutandike ku kyondooza abantu abakubunga omukyalo chairman LC1
The Bishop of Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom, Right Reverend Bishop Samuel Kahuma, applauded the tremendous work by then Reverend Pade Irumba Eleza at All Saints Kakumiro Church of Uganda. Then Reverend Pade Irumba Eleza, the Archdeacon, All Saints Kakumiro, thanked God and Bishop Kahuma for enabling him to be installed as a new Archdeacon and named some achievements reached at while serving as a Reverend, and calls on well-wishers to contribute towards the construction of the new church.
There is a lot that we have gone through, a lot of challenges, but ups and downs, but through all that, we have seen God's hand. We have seen God's hand in each and everything that we have been doing. You have talked about how I succeeded in constructing the building this house. It has been collective efforts.
Present at the function were MPs, retired bishops.
To Masaka district now, where shock has gripped people in Buwunga sub-county in Masaka district after landing on a body of a one Sylvia Nachivira dumped in a compound. Now the deceased Nachivira, aged 30 years, is a resident of Chanjovu village in Buwunga sub-county in Masaka district.
According to locals, Sylvia Nachibira could have been killed from another place before dumping her in a neighborhood compound. Masaka District Speaker Francis Chumuli, who is a resident in the village, has appealed to police to come up with a comprehensive report on the cause of the current spate of murders in the district. The Southern Regional Police spokesman, Twaha Kasiria, says investigations have already kicked off. Masaka sub-region has a history of mysterious deaths, sometimes blamed on machete-wielding thugs who reportedly attack residents at night and hack them to death. Between 2017 and 2018, dozens of murders and robbery cases were registered in the Greater Masaka sub-region. The attackers would send prior notices warning to attack residents.
Police have invited relatives of the identified 11 bodies to pick them for burial. Now, these are among the 44 people who perished in the Lubiriha terror attack last week. Police spokesperson Fred Enanga told the media in Nagoro that investigation into the school terror attack, where 18 of the initially 22 suspects were granted a police bond.
The later DNA samples from the 17 bodies of the perished people in the Lubiriha school attack, 11 have matched with the relatives. Police have invited relatives to pick bodies for burial from Bwera Health Center.
Inform the matched persons whom we are going to read here to link up with our forensic and medical teams on Tuesday, that is tomorrow, 27th of June 2023 at around 11 a.m. so that they can pick the remains of their loved ones and proceed with the burial arrangements.
Security still have 6 unclaimed bodies, and relatives to the deceased have been invited to come for sample collection.
Doing this is to continue helping us in the matching and comparison process. So we are calling upon relatives whose bodies have not yet been identified to send their biological mothers, maternal aunts, and all maternal grandparents to Wera Police Station tomorrow, the 27th of June, at around 10 a.m. For further sampling.
The initial 22 arrested suspects, 18 have been released on bond, only 4 are being taken prime. Investigation is sure the school had 2 students by closure of the last term. The director and the headmaster are still in custody.
The director of the school doesn't have the list of the students in his school. Then we also have Kambesa Isaac, who is a head teacher of Congolese origin. He has been to Tanzania, has been to Congo, and there are suspicions around him.
Meanwhile, police have arrested Vincent Samula in connection with the machete-wielding men who attacked and killed 5 family members in Masaka City. Samula is a nephew to the deceased family of Salongo Mutesasla.
Samula Vincent allegedly attacked this uncle of his to avenge the alleged to avenge the death of his mother, who was killed. He claims that the uncle bewitched and killed his mother 2 years back. So over the last couple of years, he had made several attempts to attack and even kill this maternal uncle of his.
Police still investigating whether Samla had other accomplices during the suspected revenge mission. Abdul Nasile Lubwama for UBC.
And we'll remain with that story pertaining there to the Lubiriha Secondary School attack momentarily. And government will meanwhile hand over 11 of the bodies that were burnt beyond recognition on June 16th, 2023 to the parents and relatives of those that perished in that ADF attack at that school. Now the bodies will be handed over this Tuesday, and that is tomorrow at Wera General Hospital. We have more in this story.
The State Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Godfrey Kabyanga, said that among the 17 dead bodies that had been taken to Buhinga Referral Hospital in Fort Portal, 11 had matched the DNA test and 6 did not. Kabyanga revealed that those whose samples will not match, the parents of the missing children will undergo another DNA test.
So that those ones who have matched, they can take the bodies, and those ones who have not yet matched, we shall take samples again from other relatives.
The parents of the children whose DNA matched with the smoked bodies and those whose DNA are still undergoing trials to match have all appreciated the government's efforts on the support extended to them.
And they appreciated the president for the condolence message and the contribution. And they were also appreciating UPDF for the deployment so far, but they also requested that more deployment should be done in the mountains.
The victims who had gathered at Kime Resort in Imponde Town Council to receive their condolences are still puzzled whether their children who are still missing shall at one time be seen.
Among the people who were at the mortuary, my child was not there. And those who are in Fort Portal for DNA, I don't expect her to be there because I had their boys. The hostel which was banned was the hostel for boys.
In yet another development to console the parents of the dead students, Peak Fair, through the Minister of National Security, Major General Jim Mwezi, donated 25 million shillings as condolences to the affected families.
So I called them today to pass over them. I will go to them, and each child we have given 500,000. So far, we have given out to 45 parents of 45 children.
Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News.
Now, the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Annette Among, has urged the people of Butaleja and Bunyole to educate their children in order to realize their full potential if the region is to develop. According to Anita, the world is full of challenges which need the educated generation to find solutions to them and foster development in their area. Wajiri Municipality Member of Parliament, Asuman Vasalira, who represented the Speaker of Parliament at the burial of Kagoye Sanifa, the wife to MP Yusuf Mutemburi of Bunyole East, delivered her message. Now we have more in this story.
These days, our homes are no longer just the places we live. It's where we attend meetings, go to class, keep each other safe, and entertain ourselves. To do this smoothly, you need a reliable internet connection. Buy the MTN WakaNet router, which connects up to 32 devices and gets a free 40 GB data bundle at only 149,000 shillings. Or buy the MTN WakaNet MiFi at only 75,000 shillings and enjoy a free 15 GB bundle to stream, study, work, and play on the go. Visit any MTN service center to buy the MTN WakaNet router or MiFi and enjoy the internet that does amazing things.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
She is our family's pride, and as her father, I will protect her from child marriage and talk to her about the dangers of teenage pregnancy. We each have a role to play in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from child marriage and pregnancy, because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sawuti 116.
This is the University of Africa. On the streets, you get your real education. Here, everybody has a degree of something. But the most important qualification is imagination. His reason is to be the GOAT. The reason to imagine is to take the beat and make it lit. So no matter what your situation, just use your imagination.
The land take for development of Tilenga, Kingfisher and East Africa crude oil pipeline projects in Uganda is approximately 6,900 acres, with close to 10,000 project-affected persons. The compensation process involves an inclusive and participatory resettlement action plan study that provides for cash payment, physical resettlement and livelihood improvement packages for the affected persons. 90% of all the project-affected persons have been fully compensated. 200 replacement houses have been constructed and handed over.
Ngati Agnes mfanazo. Aberu ma auto beru kabesendra wanyaru lum. Agera ot lum top. Onede podu pio. Ejuga majigera ot ma eni matinani iye. Maleng adonga chopo poringo kumacha. Sente dano wangu moko ola nyeo kodole moko machalo dielde. Moko konyo kodawia school nyekwa ya gibeteka somode.
Communities are also engaged in vocational skills, agriculture, financial literacy programs, employment, and contracting opportunities to improve their livelihoods and grow community content. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda, creating lasting value in Uganda's oil journey.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates Pakaka ground. Sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. My name is Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. Now, Uganda Railways Corporation has started rehabilitating the Kampala-Namave railway line by replacing steel sleepers with concrete ones. The Managing Director, Uganda Railways Corporation, Stanley Sendegeya, says the corporation wants to improve rail operations and limit vandalism, as we hear in this story.
Operations of Uganda Railways halted at the beginning of April for renovation and upgrade. This new exercise involves laying concrete sleepers from Namave to Kampala station.
Sleepers are expected to last longer than the steel sleepers. The steel sleepers rust. The steel sleepers are prone to vandalism, and the stability of the line. We hope that the stability will be more than what we have had.
The corporation's management director, Stanley Sendegeya, told UBC that 25 million euros has been earmarked in this process.
To have new structures for the station building. Then we're going to have a waiting shed for our passengers. We can as well, we have a plan to put a park and ride facility. By that I mean a person can come in, leave his vehicle here and move to town by rail to avoid the traffic jam and decongesting the city.
Through the African Development Bank project, the Uganda Railways Corporation will refurbish and procure coaches, wagons and locomotives to expand railway services in Kampala Metropolitan and beyond.
We have a plan to rehabilitate the passenger coaches, those ones which you have been seeing plying Kampala Namave are currently in Nalukolong workshop. They are being refurbished. We have another program or plan to secure or procure more locomotives to fulfill our demand for goods trains and passenger trains. Those are under the African Development Bank project, where we expect to get new 10 locomotives in number.
The exercise of renovating and upgrading the railway line of Kampala-Namamve and Namamve-Mukono is financed by the government of Uganda in partnership with the Spanish government in 2 phases. Abdunasir Lowama and Komagum Reyes for UBC.
The Minister of Education and Sports, also First Lady Janet Kataha Museveni, has urged all stakeholders in the education sector to increase efforts towards ensuring that schools have the necessary sanitation facilities such as water and toilets to help school-going children live healthy lives and complete their education. Mrs. Museveni was represented by the State Minister for Primary Education, Dr. Joyce Moriku Kaduchu, at the WASH activities in school symposium at Hotel Africana here in Kampala.
According to the survey conducted by Ministry of Education, 37% of primary schools do not have water, as well as 27% of the secondary schools in the same category, which has immensely contributed to poor hygiene in schools. The Minister of Education and Sports, as well as the First Lady Janet Kataha Museveni, in her message delivered by the State Minister for Primary Education, Joyce Moriku Kaduchu, said the problem can be solved if the stakeholders in the education sector work together to help these schools.
This calls for concerted efforts and deliberate actions by all stakeholders. We need to act, and to act now.
Despite the challenge, Dr. Kaduchu revealed that top on the ministry's agenda is to increase the budget ceiling for the ministry to address sanitation issues in schools. Failure to construct standard toilets in schools has increased UTI-related diseases among school-going children, while some do not support the dilemma people living with disability find themselves in. However, Kaduchu attributed the problem to contractors who do substandard work.
In our project, we do provide for latrine. We do provide for construction of latrine. However, many of our contractors do not take construction of latrine as important as building a classroom.
The chairperson of the Parliamentary Forum on Sanitation and MP, Silas Agon, said low funding to the Education Ministry hinders the construction of standard toilets in government-aided schools.
When Parliament allocates the resources to Ministry of Education, we ask the question, will you close your eyes when it comes to increasing money for WASH? Because sometimes we can say, okay, 500 million to Ministry of Education, but how much of that component goes to WASH? That's the question.
The various agencies that participated in the symposium urged everyone to come out and help in ensuring that sanitation in schools is a priority for health living.
Supervision and support for the smooth implementation on the WASH program in schools.
What that means is around 3.2 million children who do not have this basic service at their schools.
In some schools, we have reached the extent of eating without washing our hands. That is very unfortunate.
This is the first forum organized by the Ministry of Education and stakeholders to discuss school hygiene that was also attended by students from various schools. I'm Nafka Farida and Joseph Muyingo in Kampala.
The MK movement team has joined members of the community of Rubare in Ntungamo district for a general cleaning exercise as guided by the chairman of the movement, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba. Take a watch.
The cleaning exercise in Rubare.
Members of the MK movement under the MK army setting have cleaned up Rubare Trading Center in Ntungamo district. The cleaning exercise did not leave out students from different schools within the nearby communities. Members of the MK movement, Barambal Gahara and Michael Mawanda, witnessed this exercise.
I urge you to always participate in this cleaning exercise as we were guided and requested by our General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, that we must live in a clean environment. That means that he would want us to remain healthy so that by the time he comes, he finds when we are still there.
I want to thank the headmaster and principal and the directors of the two schools, Standard High School Rubale and Divine Mercy Primary School Rubale, for sending their school prefects to participate in the general cleaning with us.
For the local leaders, this kind of awareness is much needed.
Kansi marhanga ahabwente kateka ya timu MK okuja kutwasa mu Rubale obuyonzo ekyo nchoreka ngo entekateka yo mmeisho neija kubera nungi
egi program imwata uyaburwa mukaga amuhirgo kwezi ntujiza kukisapotinga n'abashobozi kwatirine hamwe kanto bashaba ngo mugume mwije muhikamu neyitwe ntumanya muhozi n'umwana witu.
As directed by His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the MK movement leaders are also popularizing government key programs.
Requested us to inform you wherever we come or wherever we go that you should participate in the government programs. Myoga, Parish Development Model, and now the women got a new fund from World Bank, which was launched a few days ago by the Honorable Prime Minister, which is empower the woman. So let's get these funds, let's use these funds sparingly well to get out of poverty.
The team also graced a football tournament in Changara Trading Center in Nyarubare Parish in Tungamo District.
Show some tricks. No. Show some tricks.
Good. This is the fourth time of playing very serious matches here, but this one is like a climax, where the public is no longer disturbed as far as praying from here is concerned.
As you can see, this is a village, but the entire village is here to witness this game.
So why we are in Ntungamo is to mobilize for MK. And when we reached here, we found that some of his colleagues whom he works with are also present, like Major Magara, Lieutenant Yona, and others. And they are all in support of the cause.
Here, land wrangles between the community and some residents are among the itching concerns.
If soldiers who have assisted us, mostly Captain Yona, who is working with the SFC, who came here and found that they have already dumped in the soil here in the ground, and he ordered for the villagers, because he was also praying from this ground, he ordered to remove that soil.
Thank Major Magara and Captain Yona, who have worked tirelessly with the community to preserve this.
The ARDC, however, warns land grabbers.
Office, because Mosaic rang me last Sunday evening, and I gave him all the information.
On Tuesday, 27th June 2023, the MK movement and MK army structures for Ntungamo district, among other activities, will be commissioned as part of the team's tour to the area. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Thanks, Robert, for that story. Now, a comprehensive 6-year depression survey conducted by medical experts has revealed a significant number of Ugandans grappling with depression, leading to mental health-related challenges. The survey, conducted in 4 districts, showed that approximately 14% of individuals living with HIV also experience depression-related issues.
Medical professionals are advocating for the integration of depression management into routine HIV care service. During the dissemination of the trial results in Entebbe, concerns were raised about the lack of sufficient healthcare workers to attend to individuals with mental health issues.
You find that a clinician in a clinic, in a public healthcare facility, health center 2, health center 3, 4, hospital, has to see 50 to 60 to 100 patients. How can that person provide counseling? Counseling is not something you just come and do in 1 minute. You must get, as Betty has shared with us, you must go deep into understanding the underlying problems that this person may be having.
When you manage depression, when you understand your patient has depression and you manage them either through psychotherapy or treatment, other treatments and counseling, they improve their lives. They improve their well-being, they take their medication, they socialize. People lose even jobs and work because of depression. So management of depression is very, very important, especially within HIV/AIDS.
Challenges in improving mental health services within the context of HIV care were also highlighted.
You find those people divorcing, you find the families breaking up, you find poverty getting into the family. So that is how mental illness affects an individual. It causes morbidity, it interferes with the quality of your life. But it's only in extreme cases that we get people attempting suicide, we get people committing suicide.
The principal investigator, Professor Egweni Kinyanda, explained that the findings and the HIV depression intervention model were based on various criteria.
So we had what is called a cluster randomized trial. When we are trying to evaluate a treatment, assessing its effectiveness, you get one group of people whom you put in one, whom you give the intervention, another group of people whom you don't give the intervention. You give them what is called usual care, enhanced usual care. So we did this intervention in 20 health centers where we had more than 500 people receiving the treatment.
And we need to know a little bit more about that, why we have more depression in Masaka area than in Entebbe. And they're going to investigate more. How do you integrate better depression management into HIV care? Because it may be in the guidelines, but is it being implemented? And also they will tell you more about the cost effectiveness. What can you do to integrate depression more into HIV care?
Experts recommend tackling mental health challenges will improve mental health services in Uganda. I'm Nafka Farida and Sulaka Gugube.
Councillors of Lubaga Municipality have appealed to Kampala Capital City Authority to grant them authority to collect garbage since they lack enough garbage trucks. At the launch of the Cleanliness Drive, Minister for Human Settlements Fatuma Muguluma told UBC that the cleanliness will eliminate garbage in Lubaga Division.
Garbage and data storage areas is a concern in Lubaga Municipality, prompting councillors led by Minister of Human Settlements Fatuma Muguluma to launch a cleanliness drive to address sanitation and hygiene. They have started the drive in Mugema Zone, Kawala Central Zone and the surrounding areas in Kasubi while working together with the residents. The councillors appealed to Kampala Capital City Authority to collect garbage from people in their areas.
Tetulina buyinza ng'eggombolola wakyali bimotoka bya KCC emmotoka eziriwo za makampuni ng'ate etteeka lye baatugamba waliwo abantu abatasobola kusasula kasasiro emmotoka za KCC zonna baazitwala olwaleero kansala ne bw'oyagala ekimotoka kya KCC olina kukiteekamu mafuta ekyo ekimu ekiriwo.
Accumulation of garbage is a result of poor disposal methods and causes infectious diseases like diarrhea and cholera, among others. Residents point out lack of garbage heaps causing people to dump garbage in drainage channels. They also appreciate the councillor's gesture. The Minister of Gender in Lubaga Division, Fatuma Muguluma, said they lack fuel for garbage trucks. Crispus Arinatwe, Chontaweire Proscovia, UBC News.
We'll now be going for a short break, but before that we've got this announcement, and it's from the Ministry of Public Service, and it says the Honourable Minister for Public Service informs the general public that Wednesday, the 28th of June 2023 is Eid al-Adha, and that is the festival of sacrifice. And this day will be observed as a public holiday throughout Uganda. And it's sent by Kaima Godfrey on behalf of the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Public Service. Let's take that break.
MTN Uganda ne Uganda waranchi bakutusako chikona tena tekobuseko season yakona savu July kuma Mount Papa's Hall usasule kwa MTN mobile money usasule kwa mchitundu MTN usasule nega nkomitano niga sistemu kagatano stamu enda munana hasha kwa MTN ufune tiketi yokati wabula kumliango usasule mitwale ibiri yepe mitwale tano ate meza ya milioni biri munana July Colin Hotel mkono mwenda July Nikan Resort Airways 15 July France Africa Jinja 22 July Maria Flema Saka 2 mwenda July Afro Club Eka Sangati ate yoyo noku yingi na mutualo wafujinidwa musente Talent Africa Victoria University Suzu Property Consultants Pepsi Max Uganda Warranty
MTN. Attention coffee farmers, traders and processors. Uganda Coffee Development Authority has important advice for a successful harvest season. Pick only red farm cherries to achieve good weight and high quality coffee. For natural processing, dry coffee on tarpaulin, concrete or clothing to avoid mold growth. Avoid heaping coffee on the floor. Store coffee in jute bags and in ventilated rooms on wooden pallets. For more information on good harvest practices, visit your nearest extension worker or Uganda Coffee Development Authority offices.
Ocho, mwami musoke. Ndio sene kusanga.
Ate chichi.
Munange, anti gwamanya kunyinyonyola ebintu by'emisolo bino n'embitegeera.
Ate chichi leero.
Mbadde ku dduuka ne mpulira ng'abakyala bagamba mbu tulina okwewandiisa mu nkola ya IFRIS.
Tukikolanga.
Ate nkimbadde
kituufu nnyo.
Mbadde sikimanyi na kiki.
Eyo y'enkola egenda okutuyamba okulwaninga bizinesi zaffe mu ngeri ya digital.
Etya.
Oba olina okuwandiisa bizinesi yo mu IFRIS osobola okumanya omuwendo gw'ebintu by'olina mu bizinesi yo, enfulumya n'ennyingiza mu bizinesi yo. Awo URA esobola okukola omulimu gwayo ogw'emisolo obulungi.
Nedda mwami musoke kye sitegeera. IFRIS eyingira etya mu bizinesi yange?
Kakati enkola ne IFRIS eyingiza bizinesi yo mu sisitemu ya URA kubanga tekyali kya buntu bulamu okugerekera omusolo ogutali mutuufu abateebereza buteebereza.
Ekyo kituufu ddala bannange, ekyo kituufu kubanga mazima obadde omusolo gubadde gwapaala bupaazi ng'ogenda n'osasula omusolo gw'otomanyiiko omutwe n'amagulu kwegamba bambi nga tekiriiyo.
Olaba kakati ate n'ekirala IFRIS eyamba okukuuma ebiwandiiko bya bizinesi yo kuba biyinza okubulako, biyinza okukwata omuliro naye kati wano IFRIS biba biri digitalized.
Bannange nenkola ntya okwewandiisa?
Kyangu nnyo waludde dda. Okwewandiisa mu nkola ya IFRIS genda ku kibanja kya URA www.ura.go.ug awo olondeko e-invoicing awo no ogoberere endagiriro. URA tukulaakulanyize wamu Uganda.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Let's have a look now at the latest in business. The parish development model is catering for low-scale farmers to join the money economy. Already established farmers could be left out. A call for reduction of interest on farming loans has been made, as well as an extended period of loan repayment. General Charles Otema wants commercial banks to support more investment besides trading for profit. Henry Okrot reports.
An evening at the farm in Waya district with over 800 acres of soya beans being sprayed just moments after the sun has set out. It is just one of the farming ventures practiced by General Charles Otema Awany, the commander of reserve forces of the Uganda People's Defense Forces, walks us through the scheme just before retiring to a campfire within the farm. But why soya bean? What about any other venture? This is the story that he shares with us.
At cassava here where we are, I grow maize,
I grow soybean, and more so soybean now. The demand is quite high for animal feeds, for oil.
He has been doing this for over 10 years.
Last year, I did 1,200 acres of soybean, and now I intend to do close to 2,000 acres of maize. You know, now the maize grain is quite expensive now.
From 1 acre of soybeans, a net return of 1 million is earned. This is dependent on seasons.
Right now we are doing mechanized, yes, machinery and water, but all they say we need the people, we need the young generation to operate the tractor, to operate combine harvester, but you hardly get them. So it is just a mindset.
He now looks at value addition on all crops grown here: maize, cassava and soybeans.
You have seen power now here is good, so that I can be able to process it, oil, and also get the cake for the animal feeds. That's what I'm looking at.
Otema wants government financial support as an intervention on loan acquisition and repayment period extension.
If they give the loan, the interest should be, the period should be longer, and the interest also should be not much. 12% is still very high. They need to revise it further down.
At least 2,000 acres of maize are in offing, with a vision for value addition on all crops. Henry Okrut, UBC.
The disbursement of parish development model funds has been suspended in Madiokolo district following late registration of the parish development management information system. Madiokolo district production officer Christopher Anima says the impeded exercise has affected 3 sub-counties whose beneficiaries were not prepared early enough. Joseph Okow reports.
At least 3 sub-counties in Madiokolo district have not yet received the parish development model funds following the suspension of the disbursement exercise in the district.
The 3 sub-counties who have not received did not prepare the beneficiaries early enough, so that's why they have not received these monies. But we are now preparing them to give this money, but they must be put on a PDMIS, that is Parish Development Management Information System.
The beneficiaries in the affected sub-county are not happy with the delay.
I'm doing small farming where I need money so that I can employ some people to dig for me. As you see me, I don't have any energy to dig. I can employ somebody to dig for me so that I can plant some crops.
The Minister of State for Northern Uganda, Grace Freedom Kuiching, blamed the district officials for the late registration of the beneficiaries.
The problem is with you, the district. Your data is not complete. Your data is not complete because as far as we know in cabinet, all the parishes whose data are complete have gotten up to 50 million.
The minister was also shocked to learn that in Madiokolo district, the beneficiaries are getting as low as 200,000 shillings instead of 1 million shillings.
Many of these districts are in the north who are getting 200,000. I don't know where that decision came from. And I have been asking, wherever I hear this, I have been asking, can 200,000 turn around your life?
This has been attributed to the less funds the district received in this financial year.
We have written to Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Local Government. Up to now we have not received. We don't know where the problem is now. We cannot explain. So that is our demand now from central government. We need that money.
This was discussed during the local community accountability meeting held by the Office of the Prime Minister in Paor Sub-County, Madiokolo District. Joseph Okow, UBC.
Now, the Public Accountants Examination Board of the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda has released the May 2023 examination results. The president of the CPA Institute, Otieno Mayende, told UBC at Sky's Hotel in Nakuru that 6,067 attempted the examinations, with 54.9% of whom were female and 45.1% male.
I declare the certified public accountants examinations results for the May 2023 diet officially released. Thank you.
The Public Accountants Examination Board has released the May 2023 examination results, with female candidates performing better than their male counterparts.
CPA, we had a total of 6,419 candidates as such for this course, out of which 55.3% were female and 44.7% were male.
At least 6,067 students sat the exams for 3 courses of accounting technicians, diploma, certified tax advisor, and certified public accountants of Uganda.
Was bestowed upon me as the president of the institute. I declare the accounting technician diploma results of the May 2023 examinations diet officially released. Thank you very much.
The president of the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda, Constant Mayende Otieno, released the examinations at a ceremony held at Sky's Hotel, Kampala, and cautioned members of the public against practicing accountancy when they are not fully certified by the institute.
There are 2 requirements basically. One, you need to have passed a qualifying examination, which is the one we've released just now. Then after that, the CPA qualification, that is. Then after that, you need to apply to the institute for full membership.
While giving out a detailed report of candidates' performance, a member of the Public Accountants Examinations Board, Professor Laura Orobia, commended female students for a good performance.
The number of students who have completed the CPA course now stands at 4,894.
The Chairperson Public Accountants Examination Board, CPA Geoffrey Wyamugisha, said the syllabus and examinations are of international standards and hard to manipulate.
Our syllabus is actually reviewed by the International Federation of Accountants. Our syllabus is actually reviewed by the National Council for Higher Education. And all those processes, they test everything that is required to make sure that we are allowing our students, our candidates, adequate preparation and time before the new syllabus is effective.
Our students to prepare well. The pass rates that you've had is also very consistent with the preparation that students put in.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the Parish Development Model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The Parish Development Model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Welcome back. Let's have a look now at sports news. The National Council of Sports has set out on the next phase of the district sports outreach. The outreach has several aims, but importantly, identifying government land for infrastructure, preaching relevance of funds, and an update about the impending sports law. Here is our sports reporter John Barnes-Sentamo with more.
The National Council of Sports' final leg of the district sports outreach is underway and is to have stops in Western, Central and West Nile regions, targeting more than 70 districts. This mission has multiple purposes, but all aimed at improving the general sports outlook of Uganda, targeting professional standards.
One of our appeals is that if they have not gazetted land, we are appealing to them to gazette land where we can put sports infrastructure. Secondly, our second reason is we are looking at the facilities and we are trying to tell them that please, these facilities need to be protected. Those that are existing need to be maintained and need to be put to better shape. And at the same time, we are also appealing to the leadership in the districts to allocate sufficient funds for sports development in the districts and for programs.
In Western Uganda, the first stop has been Kabarore district, where a visit to the Buhinga Stadium and the Buhinga Annex in Fort Portal City was the highlight.
Buhinga happens to be one of the old stadia or sports facilities in the region, but when we look at it, it is, does not measure up to what is supposed to be of a regional stadium. And I think as government, we need to come up and try to see how we develop this facility to meet the appropriate standards. Otherwise, there's a lot of talent in the region, but that talent cannot be properly harnessed, developed, and fine-tuned.
National Council of Sports technical staff also held a meeting with various political and technocratic leaders on the issue of revitalizing district sports councils.
The reason why we want districts to have sports councils, this is because, one, the sports council is supposed to be in charge of the promotion of the different sports disciplines in the district, but at the same time provides a structure or an organ through which National Council of Sports can directly link with the districts and see how we can move together to develop sport in the various districts, and also to see how we can address their challenges.
These were from the districts including Chegegwa, Bunyabugabu, Kamwenge, Kitagwenda, Kasese, Kibale, Ntoroko, and Bondibujo. The outreach that also talks about the sports bill continues in Bushenyi, Mitiana, and Ajumani districts. John Barnes-Sentamo, UBC News.
Badminton now, and the 2023 Uganda Badminton Super League entered its third week with 11 schools taking part in the schools group league. The match day 3 games played at the Lugogo Indoor Arena saw Lubanga Girls defeat Mbogo Junior Warriors 3-2. St. Michael International School beat Chinawa High School 4-1, and Mbogo High School Warriors defeat St. Michael International 4-1 in the top tier. Lubanga Girls ended up leading the table with 10 points, Mbogo second with 8 points, and St. Michael International third with 2 points. The league has gone on a pause and will resume in August after the Uganda International Para Badminton Championships slated for July 2023 at Lugogo Indoor Stadium.
Of China are very active in the sport, whereby they are not dormant to their talents, and it gives them more experience in whatever they do in terms of badminton, so that as soon as they finish school like this, they have enough experience to compete on a national level and even outside the continent or within the continent. So the league has really helped us in equipping young talent with experience in the sport.
As St. Michael, our target is to be on the top, to be the first school in badminton, so that we can represent our country. My mission in badminton is I want to become one of the top 10.
And we've almost come to the end of this second edition of News Tonight. But before that, let's have a quick reminder of our top stories. In our top stories tonight, President Yoweri Museveni advises the judiciary to cater for society interests. A woman killed under unclear circumstances in Buwungu sub-county, Masaka district. Government to hand over 11 bodies that were burnt at Lubiriha ADF attack tomorrow, June the 27th. And in sports, National Council of Sports sets out on the next phase of district sports outreach. And that's all we had time for. Thank you so much for having kept us company. My name is Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma, wishing you a blessed night. But do remember that the Honorable Minister for Public Service informs the general public that Wednesday, the 28th of June 2023 is Eid al-Adha, and that is the festival of sacrifice, and will be observed as a public holiday throughout the country. Good night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda. This is the University of Africa. On the streets, you get your real education. Here, everybody has a degree of something. But the most important qualification is imagination. His reason is to be the GOAT. The reason to imagine is to take the beat and make it lit. So no matter what your situation, just use your imagination.
Ojja kumpa irisiti tompa bidala irisiti ojja kumpa irisiti tompa bidala mpa irisiti yange.
That's right. Insist on getting your e-receipt. It's your ticket to fantastic prizes, including motorbikes, laptops, fridges, and a fully paid 6-day safari for 2 in Uganda. Take a picture of your e-receipt, upload it to the URA website or mobile app, and you could be the lucky winner. The more receipts you upload, the higher your chances of winning. Terms and conditions apply. More details on our social media channels.
Uganda